All righty, all righty, all righty. It is Crypto Coffee with Todd Lewis. Greetings, everyone. This is Uncle Moses and Bitmart. Let my people's coins go. That'll make more sense a little later when I share the thumbnail to this show.
What we need is a plague of frogs on those guys. Can you help us out?
Well, I'll just give you a sneak peek here. Might as well just get into it. This is going to be the thumbnail for the show. Bitmart, let my people's coins go. I mean, we are literally going Old Testament on Bitmart's ass.
Hey, let's not start with the death of the firstborn son. Okay, like we can start with the frogs and do the guerrilla warfare later, right?
Okay. Well, that was number 10 on my list, which I think it was on Moses' list. So we're pretty in sync on that. And for everybody, why am I saying this? Bitmart has not been a good partner, and I want to implore that please, if you have coins on Bitmart at all, get them off. I'm going to just share an announcement from that was put in Epic Cash community by Islo. I'm just going to read it just so that you all understand. Freeman, after failing to meet Bitmart's volume requirements, we have been given an ultimatum to pay ongoing market maker fees to support artificial volume or be delisted. Given that the market maker service has not been helpful and may have actually hurt price action by posting unrealistically low ask prices, there is little support to continue funding. Please speak up or message an admin if you or any group of you feel like paying this as any sort of community funded effort. It would be at least $3,000 monthly plus 3,000 Epic coins. No one in the 06 group is in favor of continued to pay market maker services. Community leads are in discussion with Bitmart to see if and how we may proceed as partners, but at this time, the messaging from Bitmart does not seem favorable. A clean break from Bitmart may serve this community better. As far as what we can discern at this time, market maker requirements were not clearly identified at the signing of our initial service agreement. Rather, this was demanded of us just days, man, I remember that, just days prior to the listing. We are considering legal remedies depending upon how Bitmart moves forward. None of this is intended as financial advice, but it may be advisable to move your Epic off Bitmart until we know better what will happen there. There was recently a tech issue for more than a week. It was like 9 days, people, more than a week, during which the time we could not withdraw Epic. This tech issue was recently resolved after some fast support from our tech leads, Pool Boy and Black Tiger. Thank you always for your support. Despite this issue with Bitmart, Epic's future is brighter than ever, and as more people are learning about us. We have the best community since 2019, and we are only getting better. So consider yourself forewarned. Get your Epic off of Bitmart. So, okay, that's the public service announcement. I have a couple more announcements. First of all, we are a family here in the Epic community, and we come to each other's side in support and prayers. And I just want to give a shout out to Lydia and prayers and support to her husband, Jim, who had a stroke yesterday and had to be emergency flighted to hospital for surgery. So Lydia and Jim, you have our full support. We are with you. We wish you a speedy recovery. Also want to give a little shout out to my daughter, Abby. She'll never watch this show, but I'm going to give her a shout out anyway. But she's a police officer here in Tampa, and she just won a Save a Life award. So she saved a life, and I'm very proud of her. She is an amazingly hard worker. She works night shifts. She has to work night shifts as a rookie for a year. I think that should be illegal, but it is what it is, and she embraces it. So congratulations, Abby. I love you. And then, excuse me. we already talked about Moses. Todd, I want to share something with you.
Well, when you said we were a family, I thought you were going to say we fart freely in meetings with each other.
Boy, you don't want to be around me this week, and I'll tell you why. Let me show you this. My wife took this morning as I was preparing my crypto coffee. So let me tell you my last 10 days since we were doing this. Man, Todd. So I went to a conference in Denver, and then my dad lives in Northwest Kansas. So I decided we were putting him in an assisted living facility because his short-term memory is that of a thimble or less. God bless him. It breaks my heart. But I went there and spent Father's Day with him. And while I was there, I got really, really, really sick. I mean, you talk about sinus infection, ear infection, nasal infection. I got it all. Went to an urgent care there, got some antibiotics that just didn't work. And I flew back to Tampa. When I landed, I literally was crying on the plane because I thought I was going to blow. I literally was fearful I was going to blow an eardrum because there was so much pressure when we were landing. Got off. Next morning, I went into our urgent care, MedExpress urgent care. On our way out, I went into this coughing fit. And I'll be damned if I didn't blow an umbilical hernia right then and there in the parking lot. So this little vest here that you see here, right here in the middle, is an inverted cup that is basically pushing my Audi in. I see the surgeon today at 2 p.m. So right after the show, I'll head to where he is, and then we'll get surgery scheduled. But that just kind of sucks. But, the show must go on. Look, man, what do we do, Todd? We work wounded, right? We work wounded. And this show today is about Todd versus Max versus Superior Money. Now, I invited Max on, and it is so unlike him to not.
It is very early Max's time, and I know he was up late working last night.
You know what? I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and he can certainly always come in. But let me explain to people what this was going to be about. Maybe it's still.
I think he also needed to get sized for his new V-string.
Yes, he does, because this was intended to be, a throwdown between Todd Lewis and Max Freeman. A throwdown. What do you mean by that? Well, as Todd and I have gone through this series over the last weeks and weeks and weeks, thank you, Todd Lewis. This has been so much darn fun. We went through these, and I went through and I gave my guesses of means of payment. Epic, yes, Bitcoin, gold, etc. Right? Now, the ones that you see checked here or X'd here are ones where Todd did not agree with me. And so the purpose of today was going to be to have Max on to be able to go toe to toe with Todd Lewis. And I really think that's necessary. But if we don't do it this week, we'll get to it next week. But
I was going to suggest we could just all agree that I was right.
Well, here's where I'm going to look you in the eye. Let me stop sharing. And I actually have, my gavel, and I'm, going back into shitcoin judge.
But more seriously, I do want to say something.
Yeah.
Max is one of my dearest friends in the world, and we agree on almost everything when it comes to monetary theory and crypto and the future. And I've learned so much from him, and he has persuaded me to change my mind on many of these things.
Yeah, right.
And when we disagree about specifically about gold and silver, it's not. It's really a difference of degrees, right?
Right.
He's not militantly anti-gold and silver, and I'm not militantly pro-gold and silver. We just, and this is the thing is, like, we actually talk about it as adults, and we have our opinions, and we listen to each other, and then at the end, he's persuaded me on some of his points, you know, and I've persuaded him on at least one, I think. I don't know. But then on some of the other ones, we don't agree, right? And
healthy debate is good, and
both of us really want to get to the truth.
That's right. That's right.
And that's what it's about.
In pursuit of truth for the quest for superior money. Yeah. And just to remind those who maybe haven't seen this, we've gone through our series, which I encourage you to watch from the beginning, the quest for superior money. And we intend this to be a final document that we will share with you all that basically, you know, is interactive like this, right? So you could sit down with somebody and instead of saying, oh, BTC sucks, or, you know, Federal Reserve notes suck, or anything like that, you could arrive at the same side of the table by agreeing that if you could create superior money today, what qualities would superior money need to have? Now, we did our best to be able to take a shot. And I'll tell you this, I hope people ultimately really, really respect all of the time, effort, and work that has gone into this, all the way from Todd, you, Spencer, his team who's put this together, Max, many other people who have weighed in on these qualities. And we put those qualities down to be able to say, okay, can we agree that these are the qualities that we would want for superior money first, before we ever even get to this side of the—
Can I talk about that for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, this is the huge, massive point of disagreement between us and, for example, the Bitcoin maximalists.
Yeah.
Right? Is they say Bitcoin's market position is unassailable and no one should invest in any coins except for Bitcoin because it cannot be dislodged from its mighty perch atop the crypto heap, whatever.
Yeah.
And my answer to that is, I don't care. Right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like your thesis is Bitcoin for the foreseeable future will remain the dominant currency and blah, 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 whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Okay. I really like, not only do I like, but I don't even disagree with them.
Okay.
Okay. I think the question is boring.
I love that. Right. Yeah.
I think it's a stupid, like it's a stupid way to look at the world. Like,
yeah.
even if you're right that for the foreseeable future Bitcoin is going to remain at the top, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? Why is that important? Because I really think they have lost the plot.
Unpack that. What was the original plot and what is it now?
Bitcoin, God bless it, was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin was an actual innovation, and Bitcoin was progress on our civilization's quest to escape barter, to finish the monetary revolution.
Okay.
Right. You know, with the advent of gold and silver coins and other form of money, but gold and silver coins are the main one historically, right? We were able to dramatically improve the efficiency of the process by which people exchange goods and services. Mm-hmm. And this is the core engine of civilizational advance. This is why we're not all subsistence farmers, is that we're able to structure cooperation in society where, you know, you work on insurance and I work on programming and he works on car repair, and no one makes us. We're free to pursue whatever we want to pursue. And if we're not creating a lot of value to the economy, we don't get a lot out of the economy, but that's a choice and no one forces us, you know? And if you want to go to medical school for 15 years and work 40-hour shifts to become a board certified nephrologist, good on you.
Yeah.
You know, no one's going to make you. And if you do it, no one's going to begrudge you the fruits of your labor, right?
Yeah.
It's this beautiful system that leaves us free to make choices and cooperate and help each other in peaceful, civilized ways. And it lets us be much more efficient as a species, as a civilization, in how we solve the material problem, create goods and services, and goods and services are just the means by which we solve the problem. We're able to solve more problems. Infant mortality, childhood education, Maseratis, Netflix, the panoply of human civilization. It's the monetary revolution that makes planet-wide cooperation possible. And the Spanish galleys bringing Peruvian silver to China, you know, and the spice trade, and the modern version of that with container ships. All of this is because of money. Money is a core institution of society. And there are still around 1 billion people left on this planet who are unbanked and who don't have access to global commerce. And that the banking system, the traditional, the legacy banking system, could not give less of a shit about. Does not care. Does not care, can't be bothered. They want their monopoly over rich people, but when it comes to serving poor people, they could not care less. Right. And the reason Bitcoin was interesting was it was an actual breakthrough in solving the money problem. Right? And so we have this fundamental breakthrough. It's a huge engineering achievement. It's a huge product design achievement, because just thinking about the problem in this way was a huge breakthrough. It's on this central core institution of civilized society, and finally extending it to the entirety of the human race. And then the maxis are out here saying, Bitcoin's market position is unassailable. It's like, what the fuck are you people spending your time on? Why is this your obsession? Like, are you really glued to the USD BTC ticker? That much out of your day that your only concern is which one the market price is going to be higher for 18 months from now. Is that it? Is that all that this means to you? Is that all that you think this is about? Right? This is about so much more than just crypto speculators getting rich. Right. And which speculation strategy is going to give you the most short-term profit or whatever. And the reason I say that is not that market position's unimportant. It's an insight from my .com days, which is, if you have a company where people are constantly clicking on Yahoo Finance to see where their stock price is, that company's probably going to fail. And if you have a company where people don't even know what their stock price is because they're at the whiteboard until midnight every night, hammering as hard as they can to make the product as good as they can, that's the stock you want to own.
Todd Lewis, I'd like to ask you, what right now today is the price of Epic Cash?
No idea.
Because you were at a whiteboard last night. I just want to reinforce that to everyone. You have no idea.
And I have no idea what the price is right now. I could not give two shits about it.
See, guys, this is the point of differentiation between us and, I think everyone else out there. I spend a lot of time. I like podcasts, like going on my cigar walks. Can't go on the cigar walk as sick as I've been the last couple of weeks. But and then after this surgery, I'm thinking that's not in the cards for a while. But I listen to a lot of pomp his podcast, and by default, then I get to listen to all of these BTC maxis that come on, and it is just amazing how it is just.
How many of them talk about monetary theory?
None, zero.
How many of them talk about like the unbanked and how to get them producing goods and services into the global economy and how to monetize unbanked communities?
No, none. As a matter of fact,
what are they doing?
I can tell you what they're doing. They're engaging in, excuse me, all of you fragile people out there, but this is my movie, but they are engaging in a confirmation bias circle jerk. And the only decision they make daily is, does the circle jerk go that way or does it go this way? Because it goes around the circle. But that is their monetary supply decision.
Turn to the left.
and it's like, to hear them, especially recently within the retrace of them playing these gymnastics, these mental gymnastics, just hand waving away all of the issues. We just lost Todd's video, so he does have a son that periodically comes in and shoots Nerf bullets at him. So I don't know if there was a headshot or not, but welcome back, Todd Lewis.
I'm dealing with the kids.
I know you are, as well you should.
I'm just trying to spare you
It used to be, to get them to go away, you would give them some cash. I think you just gave them a credit card.
I gave them a room key, but yeah.
Okay, that works. That works too. So we talked about the BTC maxis getting off of the original kind of mission, and can you give us some insight?
It's just so boring.
It's boring, but I think it's also dangerous, right? Because it's dangerous for Bitcoin. Okay, so then let's just go for it. Let's go for the jugular. How is Epic Cash then different than Bitcoin in our approach? And how are we ultimately going to, I'm going to say it, flipping them in the future, because we're focused on right versus wrong?
Well, I mean, from a Stoic perspective, we should focus on the things we can control. We can't control whether we will defeat Bitcoin. We can control how good we make Epic.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. And the best way to maximize the chances for Epic to be successful is to focus on our mission and just do the work.
What is our mission?
The mission is to, let's see if I can get this right. This is not going to be Max's version. I'm going to give you my off-the-cuff version.
Great.
It's to bring, it's to build superior money, and our core tool for doing that is Mimblewimble.
Okay.
Right. Mimblewimble is the most important blockchain innovation since the invention of blockchain.
Wow.
Okay. I mean, you could argue for smart contracts, but this is really talking more about coins and not smart contracts, right? When it comes to coins, when it comes to just money,
yeah,
right? Mimblewimble is the most important innovation. I think the only significant innovation since the invention of Bitcoin.
Why is Mimblewimble the only significant innovation?
Well, I can't speak to why there are no others, because it's innovation, right? By the time you realize the importance of potential innovation, it's already been made.
Okay.
So I can't speak to why there are no others. But Mimblewimble solves, to my mind, the most important problem with the original Bitcoin design, which is fungibility, right? Tainted coins and never in human history have people chosen to adopt money that renders every transaction public.
Right. Oh, that's a great soundbite. Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
Right? Why would it's always been technically possible, right? Who are the businessmen in history who published their private ledgers?
Great point.
because it solves problems or makes the world a better place. Like economically, it's you want to have privacy in your business decisions, okay? Because otherwise, people will take advantage of you.
Yes, right.
And they do.
And they do.
They do, right?
Yeah.
So it's a core requirement of money. And it's the one thing that when Bitcoin was invented, we didn't have a solution for. It's not that they were bad engineers, it's that the innovation hadn't happened yet. And Mimblewimble is the most important breakthrough in cryptocurrency, and as distinguished from smart contracts, right? For just the cryptocurrency application of blockchain. In cryptocurrency, Mimblewimble is by far the most important innovation, and to my mind, the only important innovation that has happened in the cryptocurrency era.
And to your knowledge, are we the only one that has implemented Mimblewimble on the layer 1 level? I know that you have Litecoin. No. Okay. No. Who else has, and why aren't they?
I mean, we forked from Grin because of our philosophical differences with Grin.
Yeah.
MWC also forked from Grin. Litecoin has a
opt-in on 2% of the chain.
Their thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So
which is getting delisted, by the way, on many exchanges across the world because they made that decision. Crazy enough.
Right. I can't speak to Litecoin, but I mean, one of the things that we have the attitude, and I keep hoping we can turn this into practice, is, anyone out there spreading the Mimblewimble message and trying to advance it, we view as an ally, right?
Yes.
The automated testing that we added to Epic, I wish the Grin guys would take that back. We admire a lot of things that MWC has done, and if any of our work can be helpful to them, then I hope they take advantage of it, right?
Oh, I see. Okay. Right? So there's no pride of authorship. You want to?
No.
Okay, that's cool.
Right. And these are all open platforms, and they're sharing is possible, and sharing happens.
Why do you think, Todd, that the fudsters out there, like the crypto vigilante tribe, why do you think that they are so adamant that Mimblewimble is nowhere nearly as fungible as Monero?
I couldn't say with confidence because I've not had extended discussions with them, but in the commentary I've seen, I wouldn't call these people the sharpest knives in the places where we keep the knives.
No, it's really, really simple, Todd. It's like I've done the reverse engineering, I've done the forensics, and it's just the fact that Monero is 50% of their holdings, in their portfolio, and to be able to declare anything having superior tech to XMR is basically declare. It's like the Bitcoin maxis right now, right? It's just the confirmation bias. It's which way the circle goes,
it's also something related to confirmation bias, which is what's called motivated reasoning.
Oh,
right.
Unpack that.
Motivated reasoning is when you have an uncomfortable truth.
Yes.
Right. Like, I hold a bunch of X, but Y is superior.
Yep.
And this is a very unhappy circumstance. And so your reasoning is motivated in a different direction to only analyze the parts of the equation that help you reach the happy conclusion. Right. So you have a bunch of arguments, and you can list them and you can explain them, but they're very imbalanced.
Right.
Because they're selected for your confirmation bias. They're selected to help you be happy. They're selected to pump up the price of the thing that's in your portfolio. Exactly.
Right.
This is why I really like this discussion and this video series. And your document is is the clear sense of mission of what are we trying to do?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the thing we're trying to do is create superior money. It's the original mission for cryptocurrencies.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, one of the like happiest and also funniest things about having a world filled with so many cryptocurrency projects is that almost all of them seem to have just lost the plot.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a great perspective, Todd.
You have all these people who are chasing money.
Yep.
And who just want to make a quick buck, and will pump and dump and press release their way to whatever,
right,
whatever they can get out of it. And like the .com companies where everybody's clicking refresh on Yahoo Finance, they are focused on the wrong things.
Right. Right.
Things.
Well, I tell you what, I'm really, really happy and fulfilled that I came across Epic Cash. And as I have put in my 10,000 hours over the last year and a half, I can tell you that I'm grateful for the
math doesn't check on that one, Uncle.
I know it doesn't, but it's my movie, and and there's lots of people.
You're on your way to the 10,000 hours,
and there's a lot of people who are watching, and I'm living vicariously through them. So my 1 hour extends to 101 hours elsewhere. So
certainly I have over 10,000 hours of viewer hours.
I went to BTC mental gymnastics school, so I can do that math, Todd. But I'm grateful for the fact that you and Max started this with a vision in mind, with a mission in mind.
Max. No, it wasn't me and Max. It was Max.
Okay, Max, and he hasn't been pushed off that line the entire time.
Have you ever tried to push Max off of anything?
I have, and I will go on record, and he would support it if he were here, that I've been successful more than one time of being able to get.
Oh yeah, he'll listen to feedback, and if he's wrong, he'll change his mind. But I meant like convince him not to do something.
No.
Right.
The only thing that I'm convinced of more than ever is that when in doubt, WWMD, what would Max do? Because, he nailed the Bitmart thing. He called it. He was like Babe frickin' Ruth. And he was like, here's what's going to happen, but this is going to become a community lesson, and this isn't going to end well. But because of, I remember there was a guy named James that was the supreme ankle biter in the trading group, just basically saying, Vitex is just shit, and we need to get on bigger exchanges, and we need market makers to be able to tighten the spreads.
Well, and they can both be right. I mean, that can be a good motivation that had an unfortunate outcome.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be. Right. Perhaps Bitmart could have gone differently. I don't know.
Or we could have picked a different one.
Yeah, and right. But it is.
I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah. Well, okay. If we're never on another centralized exchange, it would not make me unhappy. I mean, I feel that I personally, I learned my lesson camp, and I would look at all of these things differently. And boy, oh boy, do I have a new appreciation for Vite and what that offers. It's actually very easy. Once you get used to it, just getting through that first bit of labor pain, it is fantastic. And I really, really like it a lot. Excited that Diego's mobile wallet is going to be out, I'd say any day now, but any week now, because what I know about him from kind of a little bit of a distance is that he does not settle. And if there is any bear trap, as he calls it, he's going to test until he can't break it anymore. So I trust his judgment. So I'm not going to say any day now, but I'm pretty confident any week now, his mobile wallet's going to be out. And somebody asked if there was going to be a desktop version. And I asked him, and he said, yes, there would be a desktop version, but it's just not going to be on the original release. They want to make sure that everything is working perfectly. And with the initial soft launch and then the actual launch, he's just kid testing, mother approving it at this point in time. So that's how you engineers work, but
or we can ship garbage. Like, you tell us what you want.
right. But also, I really think
there are two complaints in software. It's like, this is too late, or this is too early.
Right. Yeah. And you guys are caught in the middle both ways, right? Yeah. I imagine after a while, you build this huge, thick callus to where you're like, talk to my hand because my ear, they ain't listening. But boy, man, I believe that coming off of Bitmart, and ultimately I wish for a speedy delisting, because CoinMarketCap will pick up their shitty performance numbers. But people have to understand, on these exchanges, when you list a coin that requires market making, that's just a bot. So everything you see out there, when you look at other projects and you see how much volume they're trading in a day, it's all bullshit. It's 1000% bullshit. It's fake. The emperor has no clothes. It's all fake.
And there have been times in the past decade where, that number gets outrageous in terms of how much fake trading there is.
Oh, right. It's disgusting. And it's just another way for these exchanges to be able to make money, because each time they do that, they shave off a little gold, they shave off a little gold, they shave off a little gold. And at the end of the day, then they come back and they say, "Oh, we need you to, we need another 30 or 3,000, or no, I think it was 30,000 Epic coins and $3,000 for the market maker this month. And he needs it by, July 5th, or you'll be delisted." It's just a whole relationship with them.
But we shouldn't regret pushing and running the experiment and trying.
Yes, that's right. That's right. That's right.
We can, the running the experiment, learning, improving for next time. This is what you do to grind through the problems and get to where.
Yeah, look, I have seen it in the chats. I have seen the community mature over the last 6 months to an amazing extent. Really, I use that word on purpose, mature.
And this is the great thing about Max's adult response is, I think you guys are idiots, but I won't stop you.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. That's a great way to put it. Our community is full of adult responses, which, by the way, a little digression this morning in the chat. You guys know who you are, but don't get into pissing matches in Epic Cash. If you want to take it to iron sharpens iron, please do, but don't put that on display. It just drives me absolutely insane seeing that. That's not what we want new community members to see. What's that?
Nothing. I was bringing up the live stream so I could see the comments.
Oh, okay. So, hey, while we have Todd, and obviously we're not going to go through what we were going to go through. We're going to save that for next week. Max, we hope all is well. Hold on. He said, let me see. He says, shit, man, I'm sorry. I have some important stuff. I'm 100% on all the time, but right now I need to attend these deliverables. We'll explain later, but all is good. Okay, Max, thank you.
It happens.
I
withdraw my victory declaration.
Oh, Jesus. Look at this person coming in and just shitting all in our let me put pornography and report and get rid of that dude. Why having all of those hide user from this channel. Why haven't those been deleted? I'm sorry. Oh, there they are. They're deleted. Oh, geez, man, I hate bots.
It's life, man.
I know. So let's see. Is there anyone in the chat who has any questions for Todd while we have him? Looks kind of like a Bud Light morning this live stream. We have 9 watching. Usually we have 20 plus. So I'll blame it on the holidays. I think people are just kind of maybe checked out this week, getting ready for big 4th of July weekend here in the States. I don't know. I'm just making that up. But Todd, I know you are back to back. And so unless you have anything else, I think we could call it a day here.
No, I was glad to be able to talk about the
me too.
About the maxis being not even wrong.
Just misguided.
It's worse than wrong. It's boring.
It's boring. I could see you on Pomp's podcast and you just stopping him saying, look, Pomp, this is just boring. You're boring. All your guests are boring. I don't know why Uncle V listens to you, David. I really pray for Uncle V because I don't want him to get boring.
but also I think it's a pretty, this is I think also like a civilized way to deal with the maxis is when they say like the future price of Bitcoin is ABC and Nick it's like, okay. Like,
and
okay. And yeah. Like Internet Explorer, it has over 90% market share. Web developers target Internet Explorer is their browser of choice for testing. Internet Explorer has the most advanced tool set for HTML development, right? It's like
AOL meet Google, huh?
Yeah,
AOL Maxi.
No, like over 80% of all internet users access the internet through America Online.
And in this corner, we have Google weighing in at 217 pounds.
No, but dude, when in the 90s in the internet business, this is what it was like.
Yeah.
Right? We had AOL maxis.
Right.
Right?
100%.
And they weren't wrong.
Just something snuck up on them. Google. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sick.
Yeah. Like that line of reasoning is true.
Yeah.
Until the day arrives that it's not true.
Right.
And this is why, like, to me, the thing to do with the maxis isn't even to argue with them.
Yeah.
Right. Like, just say, okay, Bitcoin has a lot of market share. I already knew that.
It's funny. All of these Bitcoin maxis out there, literally, when our community is obsessing about the price being under $1 or whatever, guys, there's just nothing really for sale. I will tell you, I looked yesterday. It's like one Bitcoin max. Let's say you're a Bitcoin maxi and you had 100 BTC at even today's price. You could take 5% of those, 5 BTC, and you could buy out Vite. You could buy out the Epic. And do you know what that does to the price? It's like we'd be over $10 at that point. Actually, it's $4.
What are you doing? Man, don't do that.
Am I being admonished?
Oh, man, like, I don't know what the Epic price is today, but I know it's cheap.
It's totally cheap. Yeah. but I want to share that with the community to put it in perspective. Like, it just takes one BTC maxi to wake up and just say, you know what, maybe I will play footsie with
You're killing me, Uncle.
Oh, why?
Some of us are still buying. That's why.
Okay, sorry. Shh. But it's called scarcity, folks. It's going to be really, now that we're just on Vite and there's only one way to buy it. Thank God. I'm so happy because, you know, Bitmart also created this phenomena within the trading group of people trying to do this arbitrage between the two. And all it does is, between the market maker and that behavior, all it does is suppress, you know, the price action. It's just a byproduct. So, you know,
this actually was one of the most important reasons why we forked Epic from Grin.
okay,
is that Grin has an infinite emission curve. I think, to my recollection, I haven't read the Grin white paper in a few years, right? But I think the money supply just goes to infinity linearly. Right?
okay.
And this I mean, this is to Max's credit. We're far from being anti-Bitcoin. We have a lot of admiration for Bitcoin. So like our monetary emission curve is the Bitcoin emission curve. We're only going 21 million coins, right? And the fastest rate of Epic creation is already in the past, right? We're already starting to level off in terms of the emission curve.
Right.
So the scarcity story on Epic is the Bitcoin scarcity story. We greatly admire that about the Bitcoin.
Except add in Mimblewimble,
right,
and exit out tainted coins, and it becomes well, I guess you could say that Bitcoin, this is a gymnastics way to put it. Bitcoin, their 21 million coins are becoming more scarce because all of their coins are starting to be tainted.
Being progressively tainted.
Yeah. So you,
oh man, that's a wonderful sarcastic point.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is superior to Epic in terms of scarcity because they're progressively tainting all the coins.
Monkman, use that. Use that. Oh my God.
Oh, that's a good one. That's really good.
Yeah. 1 + 1 = 11, Todd. Todd 1, I'm Todd 2. You know?
Yeah, there you go, man.
Hold on, Todd Lewis, could you explain how Epic continues long in the future? How can it keep its value and adopt any future tech long after we are gone?
Good question. One of the things that we built in from the beginning was multi-algorithm proof of work, and that's and the specific reason for that is we know the history of cryptography algorithms. They do get broken, right? And so we wanted the flexibility to be able to easily and quickly adapt our proof of work algorithm if the need arises. And that's something that, you know, might never happen or might only happen years in the future, but it's designed for and the system's ready for it.
That tees up nicely. I would love for you to explain ECK and that as a test net.
I want to suggest we not do that today.
Okay. All right. No problem. No problem.
Proof of work is probably the biggest one because proof of work is probably the biggest vulnerability in terms of ways that the system could fail at some point in the future, right?
Okay.
And like I said, we built that in from the beginning, and we are more capable than almost any other.
Okay, let's rewind. Why don't you educate? Let's say there's somebody brand new in here. What is proof of work?
Proof of work is the process by which the blockchain advances through consensus, but in a way that creates an immutable record. So miners do these difficult computations, and the miner who comes up with the best solution in the time window is the winner. And he gets to define what the next block is. He chooses which transactions go into that block.
Okay.
And he gets paid the mining reward, and that's how the coin is minted.
Okay.
New coins come from the mining process. And this is the case in all proof of work chains, including Bitcoin and Ethereum, and Epic. And the alternatives now are proof of stake, and there's other varieties of proof of work. There's now proof of space-time. There are these different kinds of computational algorithms that you use that have different kinds of fundamental scarcity. The scarcity is electricity and computation. These are really deep sources of confidence that a lot of mining power was applied to get to the solution, because we have mathematical confidence that it takes a lot of computation to get an answer of a certain quality.
Okay.
And that democratizes the process of advancing the chain and allows anyone in the world to participate, and means that it is a distributed system, not based on authority. And the contrast here would be like the Federal Reserve System. The Federal Reserve, the credits in the Federal Reserve System are credits because in the Eccles building in Washington, D.C., they say they are. Right? It's an exercise in authority and control, whereas proof of work blockchains, it's a democratic process based on who can find the best solution to these difficult mathematical problems. And you have a choice of which algorithm you use. And in Epic, we have multiple algorithms. And the system is extensible such that we can add new algorithms.
Okay. So that's all part of the future feature of future proofing, right?
That we future proofed it from the beginning in that way. Right? And the reason is these cryptography algorithms, there have been many cases in the past where a cryptography algorithm, which is in widespread use, some mathematician finds some clever breakthrough. That's what they do. That's their job, right? And all of a sudden, the thing that we thought was very difficult, if you know the mathematical trick, it becomes very easy. And that can be a disaster.
Okay.
Right? Because you're counting on it being a difficult problem. And if it turns from a difficult problem to an easy problem, then the system's not able to protect you.
Okay.
Because it's easy to find the solution where you want the solution to be difficult.
Is BTC future proofed?
Nope.
Okay. So at some point in time, there may be that smart mathematician, right, who could crack that code. Is that what I'm hearing, understanding?
Predictions are difficult to make, especially about the future.
They are. Hey, let me ask you, have you ever read Tragedy and Hope?
No.
Are you familiar with it?
No.
Oh my gosh. It is, you don't ever want to read it, but there is a Tragedy and Hope 101. I highly recommend anyone out there, especially if you like Audible or listening to books or whatever. Tragedy and Hope, Max turned me on to this, but it rewinds all the way back to when the controllers really back in the 1800s put their plan in place to ultimately seize control of all monetary systems worldwide. They play long ball, and it is, I'm like maybe just a third of the way through it, but it is absolutely fascinating. I'm at the point in time where the Federal Reserve was born. And
do you remember when Bill Clinton gave a shout out to Carol Quigley, the author of that book, in his acceptance speech at the Democratic National Convention in 1992?
I do not remember it, but that fascinates me now because he was a Rhodes Scholar, Clinton was. And what I've learned is 100% all, we may have the illusion of choice, but all presidents are selected, not elected. All, 100%.
It was a coded homage to the machine.
Yeah.
And he did that on national television in 1992.
That's crazy to now know. It does not surprise me in the least. But there is a group of controllers. Quigley calls it the network. There is a network out there that are the people who are truly in charge of everything, but you will never know.
I think there's a healthier way to look at that.
Okay.
Everyone tries to get the things they want out of life.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just have more power to do so than others.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and those people are ones who had a vision and played long ball and recognized
They
that.
don't they don't always get everything they want.
Yeah, but they sure have the resources to go back and it, you know,
Man,
if they,
like I'm gonna, resources aren't everything.
yeah,
There's more to life than resources.
understood. But how do you put that toothpaste back in the container when it comes out and it's just like they control,
I
all the
have Mimblewimble. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, that deserves one of those.
You can have all the resources you want, man. I can put Mimblewimble on a t-shirt.
Yeah, baby. So Mimblewimble, all right, educate us. Mimblewimble fights this oppressive power. How?
Well,
the power and resources.
We know what Mimblewimble is, and we know how to use it.
Okay.
And we know how to run it on a $40 cell phone.
Right.
Okay. So let's say that you dislike that and you have access to all the resources of the world's governments.
Okay.
Are you going to make it illegal for me to teach people the mathematics of exponentiation?
Right.
Right.
So this is kind of getting to the bottom of it, isn't it? Of why Epic Cash is so special, is because it can't be stopped because of Mimblewimble and because of the defensive design. And ultimately, there's not going to be a third party that is going to be able to control it. Is that fair?
I mean, what would the modern version of book burning be? A PDF burning? Are we going to scour the world's computers for all the PDFs that explain how elliptic curves work?
Right.
and have a giant PDF burning, and we're just going to eliminate this knowledge from human society.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, say you had the power of all the world's governments. You're just going to like take the magic eraser to the mathematical knowledge of number theory, or what? What are these things that all these resources are going to achieve?
That's a great point. And Todd Lewis, let's just say that I'm not Uncle V, but I'm Uncle and I have all the resources in the world.
Uncle, you may call me Uncle E.
Yeah, I was doing it the wrong way.
Uncle E is Uncle Evil, right?
Yeah, I'm Uncle E.
You're Uncle E.
And Uncle E has all the resources in the world. And I wake up one day and I say, you know what? I know enough to be dangerous, and I know that Epic Cash is a threat to us and our system long term. Shut that shit down. So just like Moses said, Bitmart, let my people's coins go. He goes all Old Testament on your ass, and he tells all the people who work for him, use all your resources, shut that shit down. Can they?
Well, I mean, we saw in Hong Kong during the freedom protest, right? They started like limiting the cell phone network to stop the protesters from being able to communicate. And the protesters just set up ad hoc local radio networks. Right?
Could our blockchain work on a?
Our blockchain will work over carrier pigeon.
Really? All right, but this is actually a serious question.
Our blockchain will work over ham radio. Our blockchain will work on QR codes. Our blockchain will work on you could do it in Morse code. That would actually be a fun thing.
That breaks my brain that you say this. I mean, it's just like, how can you go from the miners needing the computational power to Morse code?
It's just moving information between computers.
Okay.
We can do it with emojis. Are you going to censor emojis?
Oh, great point. We can do it through emojis?
Sure. It's just information encoding. That's 2 lines of Python.
Wow. So Dr. E cannot
Uncle
stop.
E. Right.
Uncle E cannot stop Epic Cache.
I mean, you can make it more difficult, and then we have to do a little more engineering. Okay, well, right?
Yeah.
You know,
You're up for a challenge.
Well, but I mean, that's not even high on our list of difficult problems to solve.
Right. Here's one. This is a curveball. Currently, what is your most difficult challenge to solve as the
big one that I'm most excited about is atomic swaps.
Okay, now we're getting into a little crypto porn. Talk to me.
I can't, man.
Okay.
We can do it. We can do it next time.
Nobody's listening.
First rule of vaudeville: always leave them wanting more.
Okay, all right. So everybody, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you in the chats. Thank you, Todd Lewis. Everybody, get ready for some crypto porn next week. Yeah, the person I banned, the naked HD XYZ. I'm
gonna check that out next. That's why I have to go.
We have more cheap sex than Tinder. They're going to be invited back next week. They may be a tri-host.
That's why I have to drop, man.
We may have to. You got to go start practicing. Okay, everyone. We love you. Have a great weekend. Cheers,
see you guys. Epic out.
We'll see you Friday on Epic Cache Live at noon Eastern.